Lead the Way, a podcast for school leaders with author, speaker, and educator, Dr. Bill Ziegler.
I'm really excited today to be interviewing Marcus Belin, principal of Huntley High School in Huntley, Illinois, as we talk about a really important subject for school leaders. Marcus, it's great to have you on the program today.
Hey, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Breaking down racial barriers is key for school leaders if we're to help kids of all kids find success in our schools. Marcus, what are some ways school leaders can break down racial barriers in their schools?
Bill, this is such a great topic that a lot of people, walk on eggshells or feel a little hesitant to really jump in because it's not a topic that they're comfortable with or have enough knowledge to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. And I want to tell school leaders, it is okay to feel that way. It's totally comfortable and normal. And I think in order for us to move students forward is first, we have to realize that our students need us and they need us today and they need us right now. And we can't wait sometimes until we feel absolutely comfortable to move forward in a topic such as this. And so I think really beginning that conversation at whatever point is probably most comfortable for us will help us begin that dialogue and moving our schools forward.
What you talked about is so important. Start the conversation now. Don't wait. Don't worry about how nervous you are or get started right now. That's so important. One thing I want to ask you is, let's say I'm a white elementary principal in Texas or South Dakota or, New York City, and I'm in a school that is totally different than me. I didn't come from that ethnicity. I don't have that background. How can they relate? How can they connect? They may be anxious on connecting in an environment that's so diverse. How can they do that? What suggestions do you have?
Absolutely. First, culturally, and I've been in these situations where it was almost like a culture shock where you jump in and you don't really know. It's natural for us as humans, it's natural for us to say, especially when working with students, hey, I understand, or, to try to sympathize with the student when they're in crisis or dealing with a racial issue or situation. And it's okay for us to not know and for us not to understand, but willing to tell a student hey, you know what? I don't understand what you're going through, but I'm willing to walk alongside you, hop in the trenches with you and walk this path because I'm going to learn some things along the way. And just for a student knowing you're there to be able to support them and you're learning will probably forever change your perspective with dealing with whatever situation.
This is such an important topic for school leaders. And I think as school leaders, we have a responsibility to break down racial barriers and to help find success for all kids in our school. What are some ways that you're doing that at Huntley?
We actually just completed some focus groups. We're getting ready to write a diversity plan for our district. And we had some diversity groups towards the end of the school year where we had Black, Latino, X, LGBTQ, white students, and we put them in a room to be able to ask them some very specific questions regarding their experiences and life in the eyes of a Huntley High School student as a Black student or a Latino X student or LGBTQ student, and really got some interesting stories and dialogue around their experiences, which is really going to help us do some of the work and drive the diversity plan within our district.
Marcus, this has been a powerful time on Lead the Way today. If our listeners want to learn more and connect with you more, how do they find you on Twitter and Instagram?
They can find me on Twitter at Marcus J. Belin, Marcus J. Belin, Belin. And they can also find me on Instagram at Mark, MarcJB06.
Thanks so much for listening today to Lead the Way. If you enjoyed the podcast, please take time to review it and share it out with your friends.
You've been listening to Dr. Bill Ziegler with Lead the Way. Be sure to check out Bill's new book, Future Focused Leaders, by visiting chaselearning.org. That's chaselearning.org. This has been a presentation of Lead the Way.